Street photography means different things to different people, and often it's a label that gets thrown around too easily. This presentation has roots in traditional street photography, but it's about how travel, urban life, and spontaneous street moments can all blend together, and how we use our smartphones not just to document what we see, but even express how it all feels. It's hard to say exactly when my love affair with Venice began. Maybe it was the first time I approached the city from across the lagoon. Or when first seeing the Grand Canal with majestic domes, delicate spires and weathered facades. Or even sunrise in St. Mark's Square, where the space is bathed in golden tones and it feels like it belongs only to you. Or maybe it was long before that, a dream stitched together from films, paintings, books about a city that floated somewhere between myth and reality. All I know is that from the moment I first arrived, Venice felt less like a place and more like a memory that I'd been carrying inside of me. And it's brought me back many times. Venice seduces, with glints on water, secrets in stone. It rewards the watchful. The trick is to stop chasing and start noticing. It's about lifting the everyday into something creative, emotional, and even abstract. The smartphone camera isn't just another feature. It's changed photography forever. The revolution hasn't been in the megapixels, but in the accessibility, the ease to capture instantly and share it with the world. Gone are the days when photography required expensive equipment and extensive technical knowledge. Creative power is now in the hands of the many, not just the few. No big kit, no technical deep dive, just instinct and immediacy. Back in 2013, I took a leap of faith, at least in photographic terms, leaving my DSLR at home and flying to Venice with nothing but the iPhone 4S in my pocket. No familiar workflow to rely on, just me, my phone, and the desire to see the city differently. It felt like a gamble, like walking a tightrope without a net. But it was also a kind of freedom. At that point, I was deep into a 365 project, a photo a day, all shot on my phone. It had been a year of exploration and discovery. The freedom to play with apps for capturing and editing was liberating, and the lessons from those early days still shape my approach to photography today, reminding me that creativity can flourish even in the face of technical limitations. That trip cemented my belief that the iPhone was a camera for me. My dedicated camera gear was now a thing of the past, and I've not photographed with any other device since 2014. Nowadays I use an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Its camera system is similar to the latest Android flagships, offering multiple zooms, advanced sensors and powerful image processing. People occasionally say their smartphone doesn't match the quality of their DSLR or mirrorless equipment, and that might be true, but comparison misses the point. The real strength of the smartphone is that it's always with you, always ready, no setup, no fuss, just the moment as it happens. I shoot mostly with the built-in camera. I always have done. And as image quality keeps improving, I find myself using fewer third-party apps for capture. Simplicity has always been part of the process. The world has photographed Venice. Even if you've never been, you already know what it looks like. And it's easy to think there's nothing left to find. But beyond the crowds and the postcard views, there lies a quieter side of Venice, one of serene moments, of reflections, and the rhythm of everyday life. They say the best way to discover Venice is to wander, to drift through shadowed alleys, follow the soft echo of footsteps, and let the city reveal itself in its own time. And it's here that one begins to sense the real city, the one shaped by the people who call it home. The discreetness of my phone allows me to mingle, to not draw attention to myself or disrupt the authenticity of the shots. Winter in Venice offers a calmer, more authentic experience, with fewer tourists compared to the peak seasons. While the city is never without visitors, the reduced crowds make it easier to wander off the beaten track, exploring quieter streets and local culture, giving a more genuine sense of Venetian life. And it's here that I can enjoy some of my favourite shooting techniques, especially working with reflections. There's something magical about how a single pane of glass can merge two worlds, the inside and the outside, into one image. Depending on the light, time of day, and where I stand, reflections become layered stories, blending street life with glimpses of interior spaces. People, signage, architecture, and shadows overlap in unpredictable ways. It's like a spontaneous double exposure that captures the richness, rhythm, and complexity of urban life in a single frame. Venice is shaped by its reflections. The many canals serve as liquid mirrors, capturing the city's soul in shimmering colours that ripple across the surface. Faded pastels, time-worn stone, and the inky blacks of gondolas. Buildings are doubled, light scatters gently, and motion takes on a painterly grace. The rush of the day slows in these mirrored moments, as if the city pauses to gaze at its own reflection. Here, reality and illusion intermingle once again. Reflections blur boundaries, inviting us to see the familiar in unfamiliar ways. But it's not only the canals. Acqua Alta, the high water, transforms Venice in a way that is both disruptive and strangely beautiful. Stone pavements vanish under a reflective sheet of water. Squares turn into shallow lakes. Locals and visitors adapt, slipping on rubber boots, walking on raised platforms, or simply wading through it all. But what strikes me most is how the reflections change. The city seems to fold in on itself, facades stretching downwards, arches rippling underfoot. Venice becomes a doubled version of itself, more fluid, more abstract. Let's return to the winter streets of Venice. Just as the city slows and exhales, the rhythms shift again. A quiet energy stirs. Masks, usually seen behind shop glass or hanging in souvenir stalls, come to life. Costume figures slip into the streets, drifting through the everyday. Locals barely blink. Tourists join in, and somehow it all feels completely normal. The theatrical slowly takes over the ordinary and parades in sequins and silk, their finery a whisper of another time. The extravagant and the everyday move side by side. This is a period of grand events, operas, balls, and candlelit dinners. All mingle with rucksack-laden tourists and day-trip sightseers. This is Venice's annual carnival, lasting for 2 weeks from mid-February to Shrove Tuesday. During this time, the city transforms into a vibrant playground where masks and costumes blur the lines of social boundaries. A centuries-old tradition, it brings history to life, inviting everyone to step into a world of playful anonymity and timeless celebrations. It's a dream event for photographers, an extraordinary blend of history, fantasy and the spectacular. It's difficult not to be lured by the opportunity to photograph experienced models who daily congregate at iconic locations. And the best part? You don't need to book a tour, join a workshop or pay for access. Honestly, just turn up. Don't be shy about approaching anyone in costume and asking for a photo. And when photographed in public, the models will not expect payment or tips. They're there for the photographers, and they know the light. Their movements are intentional, often choreographed for the camera. It's been this way since I first photographed the carnival some 15 years ago. But you won't be alone. Don't expect many one-to-one moments. There's often a crowd around each model. It's more paparazzi scrum than portrait session. So be ready to jostle with others, some lugging tripods, off-camera flashes, even stepladders. This is where the phone can be a real advantage. It's easier to manoeuvre into position and hold your ground. So there you are, surrounded by photographers, long lenses, tripods, click after click in the same direction. It's easy to get swept up in the moment. The beauty, the spectacle, the masks, the costumes. I've done it many times. And then later, back home, editing, although happy with what I've captured, I feel a pang of disappointment. And I ask myself, am I just taking the same photo as everybody else? After 20 years of visiting Venice, walking its alleys, watching the light shift across stone and water, I've tried to find a way to express what I truly feel about Venice. Sometimes you have to see differently, something deeper. I wanted to capture this beautiful place as it feels, in fragments of dream, memory and quiet nostalgia. I wanted the spirits to speak and for us to listen. It wasn't until I let go of sharpness, of control, of the need to explain, that the images began to speak. In blur, I found freedom. I stopped trying to capture every detail, and I began to focus on evoking a feeling. The images became more personal, more expressive, less about the spectacle, more about the soul. It was as if the ghosts of the past began to enter the frame. Spiritissima is a result, not a record of what I see, but the translation of what I feel. Venice has always existed, half in shadow, half in reverie. Now, at last, I found a way to meet her there. This is my love letter to Venice. Through intentional camera movement, or ICM for short, time stretches and reality softens. A conscious decision to work exclusively in black and white eliminates the potential distractions from the often vibrant hues of costumes, masks and surroundings, while presenting scenes in a nuanced and timeless manner, capturing the essence of an event where echoes of the past resonate in the folds of silk, the tilt of a mask, and the worn elegance of Venetian stone. Departing from conventional photography distinguishes our work from others. It requires bravery and confidence to share our artistic visions. ICM is not just a technique, but a way to interpret the world around me, blending reality and abstraction into something uniquely my own. Art, being subjective, will always generate conflicting opinions on its worth. Regardless, I believe my images cannot be ignored, irrespective of personal preference. ICM is a form of long exposure photography, but instead of keeping the phone steady during the shot, you intentionally move it. The goal isn't for sharpness, it's for expression. Everything blurs, shapes dissolve, motion of the subject merges with motion of the camera, and mood takes over. My hope is that these images resonate with others who feel Venice in the way that I do. My wish is that viewers can bring their own stories to these photographs, overlaying their impressions and emotions onto mine. So the city speaks not just through my lens, but through the eyes of all who linger in its spell. I take pride in the recognition my ICM work has received over the past few years. A particular highlight was having my Coastal Impressions series featured in the June 2023 edition of ICM Photography magazine, widely regarded as a leading international publication dedicated solely to the art and practice of intentional camera movement photography. And I was delighted to be featured again in the March 2025 edition of the magazine. This time it was my Spiritissima Venice project that was showcased. Both publications are still on sale and you can access them through icmphotomag.com. And I recently published a step-by-step guide to iPhone ICM photography. This book serves as a unique reference, packed with detailed techniques and practical guidance for mastering ICM photography with your iPhone. The book is available in both print and Kindle formats on Amazon. So I hope that I've shown that Venice is a way of stirring the imagination. And with just an iPhone in hand, I've tried to follow that pull, to turn moments into something felt. Thanks for joining me on this journey through light, place and memory. More stories and images will follow soon, and I hope you'll come back to see them. And if you'd like to stay up to date, please subscribe. Thank you for watching this presentation.